It's Alissa Coram here, and today I am joined by Kathy Donnelly. She is co-author of the Lifecycle Trade. Kathy, it's so great to see you.
Thank you. Happy Friday. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone.
Yes, my sentiments as well. And you are al fresco. I wish I could be. It's about to thunderstorm where I am, so I'm jealous that you're outside. But we both have our pups with us, so we've got some good company for a really great show.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
okay. Yeah. And sorry for the delay, everyone. It's so great to see, messages on Twitter, people eagerly awaiting. So we really apologize for the delay, but we are here now. And so without further ado, let's get right to it. So Kathy, first, I just want to get your initial thoughts on the week that we saw this week of trading action. Looks like a potential shift in the tone, but it's been a very brutal 2022. And even taking a step back further, it's been a long drought, I guess you could say, for IPO stocks and growth stocks out there.
Yeah, it sure has been. I mean, when I look at recent IPOs from 2019 to now, the ones that were strong have undercut their low, they're like everything. They're just undercut. We said 91% undercut their day one close, and that has really happened. Even and the new ones that have come out that haven't even had a run, they're way below. So there's going to be a lot of overhead resistance at some point when they do set up. So everyone needs to be prepared for that, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you are continually screening for stocks, keeping your watch list up to date, studying all the names on your watch list. We'll get to a couple, but and I want to pick your brain a little bit more too about just the current environment that we're seeing for the stocks you typically trade, and just how you're handling that. But some fun questions first. So, Kathy, what would you say is your favorite activity when you want to get away from your screen and do something fun? What's your go-to activity?
I like playing with my dog, Jolie. She brings me pure joy and relaxation, and I just can't love her enough. So when I just really want to relax and not think, I'll just go and just give her hugs and smother her with love.
Oh my gosh, you're a woman after my own heart. We're like birds of a feather here, because I have Jojo, my little pup. She's right next to me. I guess it's show and tell on Stocktails. Okay, and so your dog's name is Jolie. Is that Jolie?
Yeah, Jolie. She's actually inside right now because she got a little hot. But
sweet girl.
But yeah, we played ball earlier, and yeah, she's just so great. She's always fun and wants to play. So,
well, you know what's crazy? My middle name is Jolie. So.
Yeah. Oh, no way!
I know, right? Oh. Well, that's cool. Yeah. All right. So moving on, what would you say is your favorite place to visit? If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
The first thing that came to my mind, which you wouldn't, I guess, think, is Houston, because that's where I was born and raised, and that's where my really close family friends are. So I love going to Houston and visiting all my old stomping grounds, and of course seeing my mom and my friends. So yeah, Houston.
Okay, so wait, where in Houston? Because I feel like maybe we briefly talked about this before, but I grew up in the broad greater Houston area.
Yeah, southwest, like towards Sugar Land.
Okay, yeah, I know Sugar Land. My dentist was in Sugar Land growing up. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, I grew up in Lake Jackson, where Ron Paul hails from. So anyway, so speaking of, I guess we're both very familiar with Academy Sports.
Yes.
So we'll talk about the stock here in a little bit. You shop there. What do you typically get from Academy? What's are you getting camping gear, swimming stuff? What's you buying at Academy?
So, Mike Webster used to always say that we should watch companies that we like, whether, they're ready to be bought or not ready to be bought or never ready to be bought. And so ASO, Academy Sports and Outdoors, has been on my list. Had a great run. But I buy camping equipment. You know, I've always been into camping. You know, I worked there. That was my first job when I turned 16, and I was a cash register lady for like 4 or 5 years.
Good for
And, you
you.
know, yeah, so like I would go camping and like everything I have on would be Academy clothes. And even when I go back to Houston now, it's right next door to one of my favorite Mexican restaurants, Lupe Tortillas. So I always like just go in and walk around, and maybe I need a new bandana or maybe I need a new tank top. And so I just always go in there and just, you know, see what they have.
Yeah. And then go get some tortillas and queso.
Exactly. Yeah. The really good Mexican.
I
So
love
perfect. 2 for 1 every
There
time.
you go. Exactly. Well, one more question for you before we kind of dig more into the stocks. So I know you have been a CanSlim trader for quite a while now, and you just have such an incredible story. You've shared it on the podcast with us about how you've really been able to study these big winners and capture a number of them yourself, and that has really informed, you know, your trading outlook and things like that. And I want to know, Kathy, what do you think is the biggest lesson that you've learned from Bill O'Neill, and how that translates to your personality as a trader?
Well, the biggest lesson for me actually is doing the post analysis, learning from your mistakes or my mistakes, learning from my mistakes. What did I do wrong? What do I need to fix so that it doesn't repeat itself? And in this most recent market, I actually had to do like an additional kind of like, well, wait, what did the stocks look like in 2020 that I did so well in? And what did the stock others, you know, another stock, not just 2020. And, you know, it reminded me, like I literally made a PowerPoint like of all like the setups that work for me, you know, what's my sweet spot basically. Yeah. And so even though we've had this follow through day and, you know, the 10-day moving averages and the 21, you know, they're all starting to trend up again. Like, I don't see my sweet spot buy points, you know, and, you know, like perfect, you know, Bill would say perfect cup with handles and, you know, flat bases and stuff. So I'm not a bottom fisher. So for me, the biggest lesson is knowing from my post analysis what setups work for me and sticking to them. And even though, yes, there is a fall through day, I need to wait for those setups. So there you go.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the perfect segue because as I kind of alluded to earlier, I wanted to ask you a little bit more, you know, about the current trading environment and the damage that stocks that you typically like, you know, from a fundamental perspective and liquidity perspective and in the earlier stage. You know, have there been periods in the past that I mean, you mentioned 2020 that you maybe experienced something similar. So what might be some of those early signals for you that these kind of stocks are turning a corner and forming proper setups? What are you looking to see?
I'm looking for some sideways action. You know, right now we've got a lot of you know, straight down and maybe just like 4 weeks of sideways, right? Or they're already coming up in that sharp V. I mean, you can barely even draw really a trend line because it's just been a trend line, you know, where they're all touching because it's just been going straight down. You know what I mean? So we need some of that, you know, well, like the 3 legs down, right? Where it makes a peak and comes down so we can make an actual trend line with like 3 points touching, or we just need some sideways where we can draw a trend line sideways. And then maybe we see a flat base or a cup with handle form there at the bottom. So I'm really waiting out these institutional due diligence phases. If they even, I mean, some of these are so far gone. I just wonder if when the market gets even better, the new IPOs might be the ones I'm actually looking for because there's going to be so much overhead and there's going to have to be a lot of sideways to correct from all the down that happened. So yeah, I'm looking for sideways action, Allie.
Yeah, at first. Yeah. And you know, Kathy, in talking to you about, you know, your style of trading, I've always admired you for how patient you are and how selective you are. And so I feel like having those qualities as a trader, in an uptrend comes in handy in these kinds of periods because you're used to not having to, you know, constantly feel like you're trading and you are waiting for what, like you said, what's in your sweet spot.
Right, exactly. I mean, patience is a virtue, right? That's a quote that's out there, and you know, pays off in so many things in life. And yeah, you know, as you know, I'm training for an Ironman. I'm doing all these other things. And so I can't be trying things that don't work for me. I got to stick with what works for me. And that goes in all the things in my life.
Yeah, no, that's such a great reminder. Okay, so we briefly touched on Academy. That's on your watch list, not actionable here by any means. It's a watch list name. Would be great to see the stock make further progress. And I also want to talk to you about DuoLingo. So DUOL. Why is this stock on your watch list? I mean, I guess going back to the Mike Webster line of thinking. So maybe there's a little story behind your interest in DuoLingo.
Yeah, exactly. Well, basically I use the product every day. I've got like an 811-day streak of practicing Spanish. And before that, I've been using it longer than an 811, but I recently was like, okay, I'm not going to miss a day. But probably been using it for about 4 or 5 years now because I really, really want to learn Spanish, and it's working. Like,
that's
literally,
so impressive.
I can have conversations. I can, you know, translate. I can read it. I mean, the hardest part obviously is when they talk really fast, but I'm a user of the product. So when it came out public, I was like, all right, you know, this is a company I know very well because I use their product. And what's really interesting about this one is, like, it's in this institutional due diligence phase, but it's had some crazy shakeout blue bars. And it just had one like 2 weeks ago on earnings. But then, of course, you know, it went down. Market's been wild. But I would love to see it, you know, go sideways and create a base. And then maybe, you know, when it transitions that institutional advance phase, you know, I'll be there because I'm just like always watching it because it's a company I like. But I really feel like there's support. Now, of course, I might be biased, but it does have a couple O'Neill funds. And yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it doesn't have earnings either, but it does have, you know, some sales, and I know a lot of people that use it. So one to watch.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, well, I know I'm putting you on the spot here. Is there any like brief, you know, trading wisdom that you could give us in Spanish?
Oh man,
putting your DuoLingo skills to the test.
Well, I got to think of what some wisdom is.
Like siempre is like forever or always.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, siempre corta sus perdidos.
Okay, so what does that mean for us?
I think I said always cut your losses.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. That is so cool, Kathy. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll watch the stock, and that was very informative and fun because that's what we're here to do on a Friday afternoon.
That's right.
I don't know about you all out there. So you can learn something and have fun at the same time. And I feel like we accomplished that today. So thank you for filling my afternoon with a couple minutes of fun. And I hope you all out there really enjoyed it. We got Sarah, Pablo, just to name a few, joining us today. So thank you so much. And thanks, Kathy. It was great seeing you.
It's great seeing you too, Allie. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too. Yeah, have a great weekend. And bye to Julie as well.
I'll tell her.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you back here next week.